Let's see. I picked the right one. That's looking good. No. We're live on YouTube. Everything should be on. I got that microphone on, and I've got my microphone on. Now I'm going to check YouTube real quick. All right. Let's see. All right, here we go. Let's get off of this share screen. Stop. All right, here we go. We go to full screen. I am so blind these days. It's unbelievable. Full screen. There we go. We're back up at full screen. Let's see. I'm going to check, make sure that YouTube has gone live. All right, good. Yes, live. This got you prepping for the Kentucky Derby. All right, we got an ad. So it's really kind of cool having ads and everything, you know, going forward. You know, it's funny that you got to watch an ad to go live. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay. So here we are. Let me just see if I got. So it's really kind of cool. All right, there it is. Going forward. We got a couple people there. Tater Dom, who's always there for us. We greatly appreciate that. Video and audio are good, he says on YouTube. I get it that. It's really kind of cool. He is our watcher, so we should mention him from time to time and check back. We always monitor Facebook because we've got a little bit more, but we are really starting to get some viewers now. But tonight we're going to talk about now that we're live on YouTube, we're going to talk about let's see if I can get it both up. I kind of can. Let's see. Walker says hi.
Cheers, Walker.
Yep, cheers. And then I'm going to get this on. I'm ready to go. Let's get this out of here. Well, I need that for going. I'm just cut. Let's look at. Yes, you could see me on. Yes, that's there. You could see both of us there. It's funny because whoever's talking is going, you know, we're showing each other on. Do you think we should split screen it for Facebook, or do you think we should just do it? Whoever's talking is who gets to see who they're seeing.
Split screen it. I say split screen it.
All right, let me see if I can do this here.
It'll let you do it tonight.
What?
If it'll let you do it tonight.
Speaker gallery. I don't know what that bottom one is. Let's see. What did you do?
I just flipped the screen to the side. I saw the two dots at the bottom. I was just trying to see what it did.
All right, and so gallery, right? No. Yeah, gallery should have done it. Let's see what happens. I'm going to just see, because right now you go up there and I'm just seeing you on there. But let's see. Talk, Nash.
Here's everybody. Live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. How's everything going tonight? Going to do a podcast on the bourbons of the Kentucky Derby.
Now I'm on gallery. Let's see if that worked. Okay, come on.
What do you think about it now?
Oh, right. Now we're...
Is that working?
Well, look.
Now we're split screen.
Yep.
Split screen.
Split screen. And you're giant and I'm tiny. And that would make sense. Wait, you're super.
I'm super.
You're super. You're super and I'm tiny. There we go. So we got that tonight. I'm gonna get okay. So let's so just to review with everybody before we
lighting. Do I need to cut this porch light on to the right of me?
No, your lighting is perfect. I don't, unless you can light the beach up.
Well, I do have a little flashlight out there in the van.
Yeah, no, we're ready to go. But I want to say to everybody, the Spirit of French Lick is retaining us for our sponsorship going forward. So Justin Wiley has recorded some new stuff that's really good. John Ritt, cheers, man, cheers. And he is saying that
John,
Justin is recording some new audio for us that I got to put together. And so the Spirit of French Lick has maintained the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. So we will live on and promote Alan Bishop's fantastic his whiskey, and then everything that Justin does going forward. Hopefully we can help them out a little bit and keep promoting that wonderful whiskey. We've got our barrel picks coming up, which is the Lillian Sinclair and the William Dalton. If you're interested at all and you see this, contact me, Jeffrey Mueller, through Messenger on Facebook, and I'll tell you how you can get involved with our barrel picks. And that barrel pick was wonderful to do. It's kind of cool for the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. That Lillian Sinclair is something new and a brand that they are launching. Now, one other aspect is Alan Bishop has moved to Old Homestead Distillery, and he's there with Jolie Kasperzak again, and they are getting that distillery up and running. But I will tell you this, as soon as they are ready, and they're ready to go with the Old Homestead there in southern Indiana, it's going to be pretty cool because we're going to have Jolie and Alan on a podcast coming up. So that is something that's going to happen. And just remember that Alan Bishop and his One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute on YouTube, check that out. We promote that. And then also his If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. His Spirits podcast is fantastic. Check that out on all the podcast formats. And then remember, our newest sponsor is Rosewood Bourbon. Rosewood Bourbon is a Kentuckian bourbon of superior quality that is aged in Kentucky and Indiana and then brought down to Texas, finished aging down there by the one and only Jason Giles. And then once it's finished, he bottles it down there and distributes. He does bourbon and rye at the moment, and we've tasted it, and it's fantastic. So make sure that if you ever see Rosewood Bourbon, pick that up. I highly suggest it. When I wasn't sure what to make about it when we had him on the podcast the first time. And you also could check out our podcast with Jason Giles and Rosewood Bourbon. That was a fantastic podcast. So there we go for our sponsors before we get going on this wonderful evening. I'm going to, subscribe? Oh, somehow I have to, okay, restore purchase. All right, I'm ready. That just was like crazy. It's May 2nd, folks, and so I had to do that. All right, so what you're going to do is you're first going to hear a 30-second delay for us real quick. For that, we'll be doing an advertisement that is on the audio podcast. Listen to us on those formats, and then you will hear our theme song, and we will get rolling. Are you ready, Super Nash?
I'm sharing to the group.
All right, keep sharing to the groups. Here we go.
Sipping on some scotch, we get a little wild with a show of fun to watch. We love what we do, we drink every brew, and with our songs, we love the telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, raising hell and making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, we're here to have fun and we hope you enjoy. We're here to have fun.
Yeah!
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Right.
All right. Welcome back to another awesome podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. It is Thursday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time here in north central Ohio. And you are where, Super Nash?
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, sitting on the balcony beachside, listening to the oceans in my background.
There you go. And
cheers, everybody.
It is May 2nd.
Where you at, Tony?
May 2nd. And we're doing our annual Derby podcast. Us here at what is going on? Let's make sure everything's working there. Yeah, we're recording. So
I'm still sharing live to the Facebook groups.
Yeah, and you're getting everybody on YouTube. You're just getting a big giant hand from a working man with lots of cuts and calluses. Look at that, man. Those are some strong hands. I like when he shares to the groups how he cocks his head too. It's kind of like, you know,
I can't get my Facebook to flip because I don't want to turn the phone.
Yeah, I know. It's some of the things we got to do sometimes to be able to do this. What was that?
It was my little bit of info on the Kentucky Derby. Just blew up my little stand over here.
What's that?
From the ocean waves.
All of a sudden, the lights came on in the back. I could see the beach and the whatever. Is there a naked lady behind you?
There is. Uh-oh. I think the pool lights come on because I got a pool right behind me.
Yeah. John saying that we're reading your palms. All right, everybody. We're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. I'm Tiny. This is Super Nash. We're here. Just remember www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. And then also make sure you check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. And then also we are on all the major podcast formats, which is Apple, iHeart, Spotify, Deezer, Cheezer. It doesn't matter. If you listen, we're on it. Keep checking us out. Keep supporting us. Our YouTube channel has been going crazy. You can watch us live. All of our events, we just keep posting, and we appreciate it. Plus, we do a lot of the new short feeds, which we call Whiskey Thieving 101, everybody. And so that's kind of cool. So there's so much going on right now with us, and I just want to run over a little bit. One, we've got Christy, Matty, and we've got her bourbon raffle for Open Bees to help children with learning disabilities who the system just doesn't work with. They basically go in and allow them to afford the services they need for their children to succeed in the school systems. And what she has done and the lives she has changed and the families that she has helped has been amazing. And she does this with this amazing bourbon raffle. The tickets.
Talk about amazing. You are right.
I mean, I was
got 75 bottles, everything from Pappy to Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. I mean, hard to find stuff that, normal everyday bourbon hunters cannot get themselves. And you've got a legitimate chance because she's only selling 2,000 tickets.
Right. And it's open-bees.com. And if you just type that in, it'll take you there for the second annual bourbon raffle. She works hard. You can see on my channel, if you scroll down a little bit, you can see the video that we produced with the testimonials of people who she's touched their world and what she's doing. And this bourbon raffle, 100% legit, backed from open-bees.com. Open Bees is a legitimate fundraising. They have fundraiser, and they are a nonprofit organization. And this fundraiser is they did this last year, and it raised so much money. And we need you guys again to go purchase your tickets. It's like a ticket is like a donation to the foundation and the nonprofit and for what she's doing for the money. And you got a shot at a fantastic bottle of bourbon. I mean, the collection that she had there, the Rabbit Hole Founders collection she had, the stags she has, like everything. I got to be in front of it, and you could see in that video those bottles, and it's amazing what those Pappy 23s to have all that bourbon in one place, and to see it was amazing.
Every ticket you buy has a potential to win one of those bottles. Not just, you buy all these tickets, and then if you do win, then all your other tickets are thrown out. Every ticket you purchase gets, until the end is drawn, till all the bottles are given out, has a potential to win a bottle. So if all 5 of your tickets get drawn, if you purchase that many, then you win 5 bottles from that collection.
Yeah, and you can't punish people who are donating so much. If you're going to donate you want a shot at those bottles, and you want a shot at multiple bottles, you got to buy multiple tickets, because the donation is the most important thing. Buying the ticket, it's like, and it's not, the tickets aren't that expensive for a bourbon raffle, that's for sure. And
that's exactly what I said is that I purchased my tickets and I donated my money. Right. Whether I win a bottle or not, I know that I've donated to a good cause.
And yes, and it's a great cause. So, that's, again, open-bees.com. Christy does a fantastic job with this. You have nothing to worry about. Your money is going to go to help families and children. And then if you win, you're going to get your bourbon. So that's just, and it's fair. There's no anything. These people are
all done live.
The Matties are down home, awesome people.
She's got the rules stated there. If you're not able to pick up the bottle in person, in which there's several places to pick up the bottles after the drawing's over, that your bottle can be shipped, but it's got to be set up. They have independent bottle shippers, which is like basic liquor stores that can ship bottles that they've already set up and been approved through. So, like I said, just take a look at the rules and go purchase your tickets and help this good cause out.
It's a great cause, and I stand by it, and I'm so glad that I got to meet Tom and Christy. Fantastic people. They are doing the work that, and if without Christy, this wouldn't exist. So I will talk about it again until we could get all those tickets sold, because that's what we need to do. All right. So then also, everybody, the Kentucky Bourbon Festival is coming up in September. Also, our annual bus tour, which I am about to book because I almost have a count of how many people want to do this. So once I got the count, I know how many buses I need. Nash, Super Nash, talk about what you're already looking at on bringing along. I mean, I know you've been working on it, and I've been saving a couple special bottles, but that's pretty cool.
This year, I think we're going to bring along a 1968 J.W. Dant milk bottle from collector's bottle, and we're going to open that up. That's probably going to be the showpiece.
The showpiece. Last year, how many showpiece did you have? I mean, there was Old Fitz. You had the Old Fitz.
Last year I had the
Weller.
Old Fitz decanter. Then we had the Booker's bourbon, the old Booker's bourbon bottle that I opened up,
which is right behind me.
Yep, right behind you. And then Then we had a couple more.
Well, I opened up my
they're foolproof, didn't you?
No, yeah, but I also opened up that Special Lee that from the Colonel Lee, was it? Yeah, Colonel Lee.
W. Sinclair.
No, the Colonel Lee. No, the Colonel Lee, which was the small bottle of that Brad Bonds had.
That little half pint.
Which we learned that Ross, was working for Barton's, and that was originally produced at the Barton's
Barton distillery.
The 1792 distillery. Yeah, that was kind of cool. So the bus tour is coming up. If you want to know about that, ask me about the bus tour. You can ask once again Jeffrey Mueller.
We also opened Facebook up that blend straight from the barrel.
Yeah. So we had some really, really good. That's part of this ticketed thing. Not only do you get 3 distilleries, you get lunch, but you get special pours, and the people that come bring their own stuff too.
Yeah.
This is not a normal.
You brought. But I mean, the people that come on the bus, because this is like their second and third year on the tour, because they enjoy it, and they've got to where they're bringing their own special bottles to share with everybody too.
So now for right after the bus tour starts, Kentucky Bourbon Festival, the general 3-day passes are still available. You want to go there. The 3-day passes, we've stressed the last couple podcasts, they are awesome in itself. I mean, you are talking over 60 distilleries tastings. You have access to all the different areas. You can hear all the different interviews. You can watch the Bourbon 30 interviews. You've got access to all the different distilleries and what they're releasing. It just gets better. I'm just going to say, if you're a collector and you like to if you are a collector and you want to 100% get bottles, then this is what to do. What you want to do. This is what the distilleries every year are getting it further and further. And also the festival makes it so that more and more stuff can be purchased. There's not only can you purchase from the distilleries, but the bottle shop will be there this year to purchase from the NDPs. So they got it covered. The bourbon's going to be there this year. You just have to be there. Last year, we're talking the Little Book, Lineage, and Booker's, and Baker's 13. I mean, we were talking Jim Beam blew out everything for that. That was amazing. So you want to check that out 100%. Kentucky Bourbon Festival this year. It's going to be off the charts. Now we've covered that. We've covered. Covering upcoming podcast. I mean, this has been a loaded first couple minutes. Dixon Dedman next Tuesday. He is going to be talking about his brand 2XO. We've got the Gem of Kentucky, or the Jim of Kentucky, depending on who's saying it. You just crack me up, man. You crack me up. That is going to be an exciting podcast, having Dixon Dedman on. We thought about doing a little bit of Kentucky Owl, but it's the Kentucky Derby weekend, and that's where we're at right now. And we've got a lot of information on the Kentucky Derby. I'm going to try and wait before we get into that. And then also, Alan, hey, Alan, it's good to see you or see that you're in the group and how are things going at the old homestead, because that's been some exciting news. Got to talk to Jolie a little bit tonight. She finally had a space open and gave us the lowdown on everything. But as Alan will attest to, starting up a brand new distillery is not an easy thing. It's funny because we've been along we've been for the ride from a couple distilleries starting up. Wouldn't you say, Super Nash? I mean, we were right there with when all along with Log Still and their building. I mean, I remember they had just that distillery they hadn't even started the main building for the still, where we've been going all along the way with Luca Mariano from the time when they put up their tent and we did the barrel pick, and then also I think Middle West Spirits up here, Ryan Lane, he basically has been starting up a huge distillery. And then I've been talking to Denny Potter, and he's talking about. So it's almost like when you're firsthand with the people, and then also Alan and what he's doing. What he's doing there. We hear about it a lot of times. We come in and we get to see it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of a cool thing. It's not easy. That's one thing I know. Once you get everything running and all the hoses and the fittings and the pressure valves, that's a whole different story in itself to get those stills up and running and everything, and all the direction. Usually when people are building a newer distillery, they've got a lot of high, the what would you say, the valves and the hoses all going in the right direction so that you can fill ferment, fill the stills, and then it all is a whole network of what would you say, paths for the distillate to go through to get all the way to filling it up and into the barrel. And so that is not an easy thing. Sometimes it goes smoother than others, but I mean, I know that Middle West was supposed to be up in the spring, and in the fall he was just starting to get his feet on the ground. There was a lot of, when you're producing that amount of whiskey, there was a lot of stuff that could go wrong, and it does. But anyways, all right. So we got Dixon Dedman coming on, and then 2 weeks from now, I think, I have never believed in a project or a group of people more than this. It's something special. I get that, Alan. There's no doubt you're going to the right place where, and it's not like, excuse me, it's not like there's not a track record, right? You got a track record. Jolie's been there for a little bit, and I feel that when someone builds a distillery with you in mind, that's something special. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
But you can't say that you didn't work your ass off to get there, that somebody wanted to do that for you. It's not just because of your good looks, that's for sure. I know there's a lot of shit that happens that's not because of my good looks, that's for sure. All right, anyways.
That's for sure.
So let's talk, Nash.
We won't go there.
So before we got into bourbon, right? The Kentucky Derby to me was very, what would you say? It wasn't, I would watch it, whatever, but I really didn't get into it. But
yeah,
how about you?
The same way. I would watch it, but I didn't really kind of know all the rules, what was going on. I didn't know the horses or anything like that. But now is a whole nother level of the Derby. And I guess that's because bourbon's involved. And we also have a great, great friend and member of our group, El Presidente, Randy Frost, which he's been involved with the Kentucky Derby for many, many years. And now, like I say, he's a good friend and a member of our group. And so that just encouraged me to get more involved with it and more knowledgeable about the event.
All right, to start off, let's talk about what you did this year for Randy. I mean, it's the coolest thing. It's part of what the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, why you want to know us. And your Super Nash is so much a part of us, and he makes me proud that I know him, but he does things and generous things for people. And this is not anything less than super Nashish.
Well, I just happen to have a couple of Jim Beam decanters that were Kentucky Derby Festival bottles, and one of them just happened to be, I believe, was the 95th running, the Kentucky Derby, which me and Randy looked it up, and it was the 1969 running, the year after his birthday. He was born in 68. So I sent that up there to him and gave that to him. And he will be opening that bottle, and it's completely full. And he'll be opening that bottle, I believe he said on Saturday the 4th, with an old boss of his that was at the Churchill Downs. And he will be giving us a review about what it tastes like and all that, and which me and you both have tasted a lot of those old Jim Beam decanters that belonged to my dad.
Yep.
And every one of them has been fantastic.
Yes, for sure.
And so
for sure.
Looking forward to this. And Randy, when he opened it up, he was just elated with it, and just told me that he just can't wait to open it up on Saturday, May 4th,
Awesome.
during the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby. So.
Yep. Shout out to Stacy Stearns. She's watching tonight. And then Alan said that he came up with a reason. And his reason would be like arm the Hoosiers with pellet guns so that you could bet, and then he'd go and kind of thing. But I'm saying is I don't, the Kentucky Derby for me, the way the crowds shake out and my income level and you know, and I wouldn't even, this is not one favor that you'd want to try and call in, you know, with Randy. This is Randy's thing. It wouldn't be, you know, you just wouldn't want to say, hey, what, can I go with you or anything like that? And if I ever went, I was looking for 1 year before we were looking at going with the other people that used to be here, a part of the podcast. And when we were looking at tickets, they were expensive, and it was infield, and you had to wear boots, and if it rained, and I mean, it was just crazy. And Alan was talking about, well, then I'll go then. I don't think I'd ever go because I've got an 85-inch TV. I've got a 65-inch I could put out on my deck if it's not raining. And I'm going to basically watch the Woodford Reserve commercials, pour myself whatever I'm drinking, whether I'm going to drink along with the history of, we're going to go over the history. So there's a lot to choose from of what you can be drinking if you want to participate in the history of what people have drank throughout. And, but it definitely is a TV sport for me. You know, I can skip the crowds. I don't, you know, when you think about the race itself, if you're going to have a good view of the whole race, you're way back in the middle. Yeah. On the top, you know, in the booths or whatever at the top, that gives you a view of the whole race. If you're up front, you might see to watch the finish line. But if you're out front at the finish line, you know, that track, is a mile long, right? It's a mile long race, and it is seriously, that's way far away. You know what I mean? When it starts, it's just not a way to view. But you watch it on TV, you see it every step of the way. And when it's over, they show it to you over and over and over again. If it's a photo finish, you know what I mean? So it's just definitely, for me, not the greatest live experience that I want to experience. I want to experience it, you know.
And also, I like watching some of the, the close-ups of the jockeys and mid-race and going in the curves. Some of them, I mean, they get close, they hit each other and things like that. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can happen that you will never, ever see if you're standing on the ground on the infield, or if you're in those lower seats on different parts of the track. You'll never, ever see it.
So right now I have an assignment. I'll do the assignment because your phone is being used. So I'll use the other phone, and I'm going to give the weather report. Let's just give a weather report right now.
What it's going to be like at race at post time.
Yeah, which is Churchill. It's Churchill Downs, right?
Churchill Downs, yes.
Churchill. All right, I know where it is. I'm just going to type in this. Whoa, there we go. The weather forecast for are you what just happened? I get it. I go to ads. Okay, the weather forecast for Saturday. Let's get this baby. There it is. Daily. Saturday, 79 degrees with 50% chance of rain. So we'll have to see. Let's see. Rain showers early with overcast skies late in the day. So hopefully by late in the day, overcast. So it's going to be a gray, gloomy day, and the track's probably going to be a little wet, right? What horse is a mudder? That's what you want to know, right? So there's your forecast. So
that would be my second pick, which is fierceness. That would be my second pick, fierceness.
Terry said it's a mile and a quarter. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate the correction.
Yeah, and I just happened to read that too, mile and a quarter.
Yeah. So we're looking at, it's such a quick, there's this build up to it. And people go to bars. I mean, some of the bars that I eat lunch in have Kentucky Derby, countdowns. Minglewood here is having a Derby party. Now, I'm not into the poshness of the Derby. That's one of the other reasons I don't want to dress up. I appreciate them dressing up, and I appreciate that, but that's for people who love horses and horse racing. And it really is something in Kentucky. There's no doubt about it. All of our friends that are down in Kentucky have all week been going to events and different things. It was cool to see Kate this morning with the boys. They were there at Churchill Downs, and then some of our friends are there. So that's kind of cool. So that's going to happen at 6:37. I want to say, isn't that the time that it starts on Saturday? It's something random like that. But I think I remember seeing that it was 6:07 or 6:37, but I think it's 6:37. Anyways, getting ready for that. So one of the things about the history of the Derby is that it has this marriage with bourbon, right? So I have a real quick history to run over. I'm going to share it. We've got the odds. We'll talk about that later, but I believe, let's see, where am I? Is that it? The story. Okay. So initially nothing was official, but the main brands that have been associated, there were 3 volume brands were Woodford Reserve, Maker's Mark, and Buffalo Trace. Jim Beam, Evan Williams, Henry McKenna, Four Roses, Bullet, and a few others have cracked the top from time to time, but the 1 and 2 position have been a steady stream of Makers and Woodford. So those are big. They come out with those special bottles, right? But so initially, let's see, that was last year. It said beginning with the 144th running on May 5th, 2018. That's when Woodford became the Kentucky Derby's official sponsor. But they were talking about it's likely the sponsorship in bourbon history and should grow. Okay, as the bourbon, this person studied it, and he said after Prohibition, horse racing, baseball, and boxing were the United States top sports, and since horse racing crown jewel, the Kentucky Derby, was in the Kentucky Bourbon Distillers' backyard, each major brand found itself in a race to own the publicity rights to the Kentucky Derby. From the end of Prohibition to 1942, dozens of bourbons advertisements filled the pages of the Derby programs. The leaders of the pack were Brown-Forman, Old Forester, Paul Jones, and the National Distillers. Like the horse in the race, each ad was strong, making a case for their bourbon to be the beloved spirit of the Kentucky Derby patron. Brown-Forman held true to the fact that Old Forester is a one distillery bourbon. National plugged the mixability of Old Grandad and Old Taylor, and Paul Jones' Four Roses spoke of virtue in its blends. May 4th, 1935, Old Forester bottled in bond for 65 years, acknowledged by connoisseurs to be the finest of Kentucky whiskeys. Old Forester, with its famous full-bodied flavor, mellow richness, and glowing satisfaction. Its production by us only and from our own famous formula treasured since 1870. The famous Old Forester plain label appears only on whiskey made by ourselves in our own distillery by our own methods. A limited quantity is now available. So then in 1938, National Distillers. 1942 was Four Roses, and then Brown and Forman to this day took let's see, down in the Kentucky Derby. They won more reasons that just spending more money. The Brown family had passion for the race in 1940. They created a special bottling for the 66th Kentucky Derby. It was only available to those in attendance, and this author's Great White Whale and Bourbon Collecting. So there you go. That's just kind of a quick history. I mean, recently, Brown and Forman pretty much won out because of their love of racing and being in that area. Overall, it's been was Brown and Forman, then into Woodford Reserve. So kind of cool, right?
Yes, it is.
Let me take this share screen off. Where does that go? There it is. Stop sharing. There we go. We'll go back to full screen. There we go.
The next bourbon up is what? Wouldn't you say? Woodford Reserve.
Yeah.
And
now
this bottle is the special edition for the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby. Picked this up on the way down here today.
That's awesome.
$44.95.
Well, I mean, that's one thing about now. There's a lot of special bottles, but the one thing that I got to say is I've seen the Derby bottles and the painted bottles, and they're all kind of cool. But my Roxy last year.
This was the one from the 148.
Yeah, you've got that.
This was what I was bringing down here until I stopped at one of my favorite stores on the way down here, and they happened to have a case of these. Like I said, $44.95. I was like, hey, we're doing the podcast tonight. Pick it up.
Yeah, but it's the same bourbon that's in the normal Woodford Reserve. So what I did,
Basic.
or what Roxy did, they don't put. It's not a special batch. You know what I mean? It's just Woodford. Now
Well, I want to beg to differ because I got some notes on that.
you can get notes, but it's everybody says they don't put special Derby juice in their special. It's a special bottle filled with Woodford Reserve. It's just what it is. But there are some distilleries that do special, like Wilderness Trail definitely releases their Derby batch. So does Peerless. There are distilleries throughout the area that release special batches. Now, if you prove me wrong on the Woodford Reserve, you can prove me wrong. But what I've done, or what Roxy did, was this. She bought a special glass painted by, I believe, the guy.
Oh, wow.
She's got, yes. So
Sherry bought 2 of those too. And I should have brought mine down.
Yeah, but now I don't care what Woodford Reserve is in the bottle. No matter what Woodford Reserve is in a bottle or what I'm drinking for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Now, this Woodford Reserve that I'm going to be doing is the pick for the Kentucky Bourbon, the 2023 Kentucky Bourbon Festival. And I'm going to be upping my game, and I'm going to pour some from Distiller's Row. So this would have been the bottle from this year, the 2023. I mean, and you could start reading, but I just got a quick. Oh, come on.
Okay, and it's right here in the paperwork.
Okay.
In the lush rolling hills of Kentucky, where thoroughbreds raised and the history of